So yeah, dude, a lot's going on in Vancouver. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't it wild though? Like, honestly, let's.
No, that's Minnesota, Joe.
What's that?
You said, "Isn't it wild?" I said, "No, that's Minnesota, Joe."
You told us that was a bear head, and Glass shattered it for us.
But Bruce Boudreau did coach the Wild from 2012 to 2020.
Look at you.
So it fits. It fits. Yeah, no, I just think it's wild that Vancouver. So here's my thing. And I can say this because obviously I'm a Capitals fan, and Boudreau coached the Capitals for a number of years, like 2007 to 12, probably. Yeah, 2007 to 2012.
Minnesota.
This man, before he went to Minnesota, well, he went to the Ducks, then he went to Minnesota. But anyway,
That's right.
Anyway, point being is like he's one of the coaches that has like an actual winning record, and he's great. Like, you know, he's I don't remember these actual percentages. I looked at it earlier today. Somewhere in the 6th, though. Like, he has a winning record as a coach, and he's been coaching for a long time. The man's a damn good coach. To me, and the reason I brought up the Capitals, it's the team of Vancouver that's the problem, and they're letting go of a great coach when the team sucks. Yeah, it's the team's problem. Because, and again, going back to the Capitals, he brought the Capitals to the playoffs almost every single year when he was their coach. Almost every single year. And here's the thing, and Ovi has said this himself after they won the cup, and he's like, essentially in so many words, obviously Russian probably, but in so many words he was like, yeah, I was kind of a piece of shit all those years before. It wasn't until I actually got my shit together to be a real leader that we won the cup, and I was going to do anything to win that cup. My point being is that Vancouver just let a coach go that, are they going to win a Stanley Cup? Not necessarily in the next few years, but such a great coach when it's the internal team that's the problem. Who's their leader? Like, Horvat's not stepping up. Garland's not stepping up. OEL's not stepping up. Pedersen. Like they all hate each other. It seems
Pedersen,
like.
Brock Besser. Yeah. No,
Besser. Like, nobody's stepping up. That's why they suck right now. Like, you know, so I don't know. I don't think adding Rick Tocchet as the coach is really going to change anything. But I mean, I guess we'll see. But it's just wild you think about it. Boudreau got added in November last year, so he didn't even really get a chance. Like,
no,
I think
he didn't.
Had like 100 games for Vancouver, and I think I'm pretty sure he's won more than he's lost because they had that big surge last year when he came on. So it's kind of unfortunate, honestly.
He did the best he could with that roster. Not even because the roster itself is fine with the team and the chemistry and the way things have gone for them on ice, and they've. Look, Thatcher Demko's been out for a while. That certainly hasn't helped. So they've had like Spencer Martin and I don't know who else platooning for him in net. That's not going to make life any easier for you. And I think Boudreau's one is he's won over 1,000 games. Yeah, for sure. As a head coach,
he's coached over 1,000 games.
Okay,
he hasn't won over 1,000 though.
I got you. Okay, so I mean, but he's well respected around the league, and it was so cool to see what the fans there in Vancouver and him get emotional because he said, he's like, you don't know, this might be, I want to take this all in because this might not happen for me again. The Flyers fan in me, though, is super geeked that it's Tocchet. Tocchet was my first ever Flyers sweater I bought when I was 18 years old. I love Rick Tocchet, and it's to see him get an opportunity with a team that isn't Arizona is pretty cool, man. I've always liked Vancouver. Side note, get rid of the fucking whale coming out of the sea. Go back to the flying skate, for fuck's sake. Dopest sweaters in hockey history.
I just looked. He's coached 1,087 games. He's 617, 342, and 128. So that's
more than respectable.
Percentage of 6 something. So that's pretty damn good. And in Vancouver, he coached 103 games. He's 50, 40, and 13. So he has a winning record as a Vancouver head coach.
Yeah, barely over a season is what he was given. And it's very unfortunate what's happened there. And, you know.
And it is, just because, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to kind of totally screw my whole argument over. It's terrible for Vancouver because we don't really know what Rick Tocchet's gonna come in and do. I mean, he had that little run in Arizona, and he brought them to the playoffs that year, I believe, also when they have never any right to go to anywhere. But so it's terrible for Vancouver because they're losing out on a great coach. But here's where I'm gonna totally like throw away my argument there. It's kind of nice because Boudreau is one of those coaches amongst the league that is part of the old boys club. Yep. And maybe in the next few years now, we can actually start to see like some of those older coaches getting out of the league, like Rick Bowness, now Bruce Boudreau. Honestly, even though he's the Caps coach, but Peter Laviolette, I mean, all these guys that just keep going to different teams. Let's let a new breed of coaches come and see what happens.
Yeah, I got love for Lavi because
so do I. Obviously, I'm waiting for him to bring a championship to Washington again.
He's great. And that includes our head coach Torts. I mean, look, I wanted when we got rid of fucking Vigneault, and we're in the market for a new head coach this year. Tocchet was the guy I wanted. And that was probably fanboying me because Torts is the right hire. But I wanted Tocchet just because I wanted to mark out overseeing my guy on the bench. I mean, it's great for him to get another opportunity that's not with a team that ended up playing in a fucking, Arizona States. And I know we go back to that every time with Arizona, but what else is there to go back to? Exactly.
An actual barn.
Yeah, you play in front of 5,000 people if you sell out. Good for you.
Hey, the Mullet Arena, baby. Like, what are you doing here?
Yes, named after Rick Tocchet's hairdo from back in the day.
Obviously.
But it was cool to see Boudreau get that moment. And, who knows, man? It's I don't know where Vancouver is at in the standings right now. Obviously they're
the last.
Yeah. They're down there though.
They're buried. Yeah. So I mean, it's
but it is the Pacific, so you could go on a 10-game win streak and be right back in playoff contention. So,
that's true, but that's the thing. It's like you do a mid-season switch to Rick Tocchet, and what do you think that's going to accomplish? Out of anything for respect for Boudreau and what he's accomplished, you'd at least like to see him finish out the season.
Yeah, I mean, at least give him a full season.
Right.